Sarahi, I looked at some of your resume, and it's a really tough real estate market. And a young woman like you, a top producer, how have you approached this really difficult time in real estate?
Well, I would say that it has to do with a lot of different things. There's a lot of factors when you're in this industry and many other industries. Honestly, what has really helped me throughout my journey, my career in real estate, is just staying present in a way and relevant with everything that I do. So I try to stay very involved in the community, even when things may be a little bit shaky in the business itself, because it can happen. So we all go through challenges, but just staying involved, just staying relevant, and following up with my clients. I try to stay myself, just very involved and busy with everything that I do, and just learning as much as I can with the industry, what's happening, what are the challenges with, with families out there. Definitely.
I can see how that would build trust, or sometimes not resentment, but sometimes you're telling people something that they don't want to hear.
Correct.
Like I said, I can remember when I was young, I can remember my dad coming home and saying, I told them that's not the right house for them. If they want that house, somebody else is going to have to sell it to them.
Yeah.
So you probably have to have a way with them of delivering frank news without being offensive.
Right. Very honest, very transparent. That is one thing my clients know about me. I am very honest, very straightforward. Whether they like it or not, I tell them either way. And so I also like to give a lot of options. So whether it's, no, Sarai, that's not what I want, I still like to show them as much as I can when it comes to homes, because a lot of people, they're very specific with, let's say, like location, because we know real estate is all about location. So, one thing that I do, and I feel like it really sets me apart, it's being able to provide options in general, and it's eye-opening for them. For a lot of families, they're like, well, this is not where I wanted to be, but this is where I am now, because it just makes sense financially, and ultimately it's a huge investment. It's not like my dad says, you're not buying a pair of shoes, you're buying a house. So it's definitely a big step, and so I'm glad that I'm able to be there and guide them through the process. Yes.
Yeah, that really resonates with me. That sometimes you think but if you have somebody that you trust, because they are being straightforward with you,
right?
I'm sure that's what builds a lot of those relationships that you have. Then you can consider options that maybe you had kind of blocked out of your mind, or you just didn't consider them. Sometimes you don't. What do they say? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, and then just keeping in mind too that I love my clients. They're very understanding. I love that they listen, but it's also important for us as professionals to sit down and have a time, whether it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes, when we get to know them, or when they're referred or whatever, when they contact you the first time, to be able to take the time to listen and to really get to know them. And a lot of people don't do that. And so they just kind of like go into like, okay, so have you been pre-approved? So like, let's get started. And that's definitely not the way I personally do business. I like to get to know my clients and ask the questions. And that's how you build rapport. And that's how they trust you, because you're taking the time to listen. And that's, that shows that you care. And there's a lot of value in that. So,
and it allows you to honestly think, not judging it, but you're evaluating what their needs are.
Correct.
And you can't do that unless you have, I would imagine you can't do that unless you have some sort of rapport, relationship with them.
Right.
And then that gives you a little more freedom to speak frankly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So you're already really busy with the real estate market, and then you decide to do this organization, Latinas on the Go.
Yeah.
So what motivated you to decide to do that? Because you're also a mother, right?
I am a single mom, 14-year-old son. Yes.
So you have a lot on your plate already. So what propels you to say, you know what, I think I'm going to go now and start this organization?
Well, the funny thing that it wasn't like that. That's not how it started. It was, I say what's an answer prayer. I am a huge believer. So for me, it was more, it was an idea that was born through experience, because of where, the stage where I was in at the time. So, I was looking for a place for myself. So as a Latina, young entrepreneur, women, I wanted to find a space to be able to learn and grow and collaborate with other Latinas in the community. So for a long, long time, I was, all over the Tampa Bay area and different types of events and chambers of commerce. And I was just very involved, and I'm very grateful for those opportunities. But I kind of wanted to feel and, see something different. And so I felt like that there was a need in the community for something like that, for a space like that, a platform. And that's when Latinas on the Go was born. It was back in 2019. So it's this year, October, will be 5 years since we started this whole community of women. And yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. It's a blessing. I am so excited, for what's coming, for what the future holds. We get together. We have created a sisterhood. We're a family. We pray for one another. We cheer for one another, and we get to collaborate, learn, and connect, and give back to the community, which is one of the most important things for Latinas on the Go.
So you were involved in the Chamber of Commerce. You met people.
Yep.
You got some great business ties, and then you said, but I want a home, or I want a home for
something different.
Something different. So who did you collaborate with? How did you get the group going?
So, well, I reached out to a lot of people that I knew at the time, and I shared the vision. I shared the idea that I had, and a lot of people, most people said, yes, I would love to help you with what I can. And so that's kind of like how it started, before it was official, before we launched, revealed the whole Latinas on the Go organization. And so it was just really me, essentially. But then I had other people that kind of came alongside me and helped with. I really didn't know.
I was going to say, what was your vision? Because at the beginning...
Well, I wasn't sure. Yeah, I honestly, I just knew that I wanted to create a space that I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be innovative and young and fresh. And I wanted women, Latinas, really, that's the focus, to come together and grow and learn. And so for me, that was it. I didn't know much of how I was going to do it. It just kind of it happened. And
I didn't know if the parameters were going to be more business networking or more personal support for each other. I mean, one would normally follow the other, right? But
right. Well, I knew it was a form of networking, right? But I wanted it to be more than just a networking group. So it has become more than that, honestly. And I'm sure a lot of women can attest to that, where it's more like a friendship. It's a sisterhood. There's no competition. We get to collaborate. We get to learn from one another. It's kind of like a resource, where we are able to offer tools and resources, and just being there to connect and grow. And so it's been like that. I mean, we were able to host social events, workshops. Those are more educational, like seminars, things like that, and community outreach. And right now, we're really now going into a whole different direction for 2025. And so that's still a secret. But
I was just going to say, I was a new direction. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But
a lot of changes.
I mean, networking is best. Making money is best when you do it with friends, honestly. Right. Or not just making money, but just being able to rely, on somebody else who's got a professional slant, who's in your corner.
Right.
And it seems like if you have friendships that have been deepened by, some of the community outreach things that you do, I don't know, it seems like that would not only be a lot of fun, but everybody has some sort of network. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not everybody has some sort of network of people who back them up. So to find a network or to add to the network you have, I think that would be lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they underestimate the power of networking, and you just don't know who's gonna, who's out there, who's really going to maybe change your business. And it's important. It's important to network and to do it the right way, with the right people, with the right circle of friends, and it will essentially help expand and grow your business if you stay, again, relevant, and you show up and you stay present, and you're out there. So absolutely, I love it. It's what has allowed me to grow as a professional. That's how I started networking, and so this is where I am today. I never thought I would be here 5 years ago. So
you never thought?
No. What? That's
because some people are like, "This is what I'm going to do," and then some people it develops, it comes to them in their life.
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to be successful. Like I wanted that for myself, of course, and for my family. But I just wasn't sure where I was gonna go exactly. Like I've always had goals since I was very little. I knew kind of like what I wanted to do, but you know, life is it's crazy sometimes. You start here and then you end up elsewhere. But it's been a blessing. I'm very grateful.
So tell me a little bit about the community outreach, because I feel like not only is that good for the people that you serve, whatever part of the community you're serving, but it's like a common purpose, and doing good makes people feel good, but doing good with people around you have a common,
Yeah.
who are commonly inspired.
Right.
I think I think it would link you even more. What kind of outreach is it?
Well, with community with Latinas on the Go for the last 5 years, we've been really a little bit all over the place, I would say, when it comes to community outreach, which is one thing we're working on. But we've just been involved with different nonprofit organizations. We've give donations, whether it's volunteering work, right? Like out there with for example, with the humane, what's it called? I'm sorry, where you go out there and you rebuilding Tampa Bay. I think that's
so Habitat for Humanity.
Habitat for
That's
Humanity.
a great thing.
So that is one organization that we've been able to collaborate with in the past, and Girls of the World is another one that we've been a part of.
Girls of the World is
It's so they are in Waimama area, or Gibsonton area, more South Hillsborough County, but they are an organization where they offer tools and resources for young women, young girls in this case. So it's mentoring and a lot of
that fits perfectly with the organization.
yeah. And so there's a lot of other ones, that we've been involved in, but for us is really being able to create an impact, to make a difference, to volunteer, because there's a huge need in our community. And so just recently, I'm going to say 2 years ago, this is our second year, we also launched a community initiative by Latinas on the Go. It's called the Valiente Project. And so through the Valiente Project, which that's going to be something else and beautiful, and how that's going to expand next year. But with the Valiente Project, we've been able to help a lot of local Latina women start their businesses. It's a way for us to give back and to uplift women. So it's a beautiful initiative. We've been able to do that. So when it comes to starting their LLCs, so that's something that we did last year. We selected 3 winners that were, that applied for the Valiente Project, and were able to start their businesses that way. So, and we collaborate with other professionals in the community as well to do that. And then this year was a little bit different. We were able to collaborate with 3 other companies, women owned, to offer a service to 3 women that applied for the Valiente Project. So one of them, for example, they won counseling sessions. So there was like a marketing plan, business coaching, all that amazing stuff. So it's really good to see how we come together, how we collaborate, and we're able to give back to women that are in need, and in the most difficult times. So
that must be, well, I don't know, very fulfilling, like I said, and to do it with people that you've formulated some beautiful friendships, I imagine.
Yes.
Throughout this journey, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so we'll have to wait to see what secret direction y'all go into. I saw some of the events, like I said, on Instagram. They looked like they were like a lot of fellowship, a lot of, and networking. And honestly, it's odd because people talk about networking.
Right.
And it's a given in sort of like, not to be overly feminist, but in male-dominated society, or in certain even ethnic groups, like the networking is what the glue that holds them together. So why not us?
Right. Yeah,
why not us? Why not do business with somebody that you have a friendship or some other things in common with, that you feel at home?
Yeah.
I think it's neat, but it's kind of crazy because you're pretty young to have achieved, all the success, both as a real estate agent and in this organization. And that people who are older, they talk so much trash about people in their 30s and 40s, like millennials, blah, blah, blah. And it's gaga to me. Honestly, it's ridiculous. But if anybody's proving all those ridiculous sort of stereotypes wrong, because everything you're doing is in person.
Yeah.
You're talking about being present. You know what I mean? Present in person, getting people together, doing a community outreach, providing for other people. I don't know. I think that's very different. I think it's very huge. And I love that, I love that somebody in their 30s is doing that.
No, I'm actually very happy that you're saying that, because that was one of the motivators for me when I was at the time like networking and going to all these different groups, and it was very intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of there were a lot of older people and a lot of males, and honestly for me I felt out of place. And I always like to use that word because I felt out of place. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like people didn't see me, by who really I am and what I know. And so I felt very underestimated at the time. And so
that's a great way to put it. Very underestimated.
Yeah. And so and sometimes you just have to step up, and that's what it is. I say, you know what? I'm just going to do something of my own, and I'm gonna make it different, because I don't ever want somebody else to feel the same way. And after I did that, after that was created, so many women approached me and said that's exactly the same way I feel. And so, I knew there was a need in the community for that.
There's a huge need. There's a huge need. And things have not changed as much as people think they have.
Right.
When I started practicing law, I was 23. And there were a lot of women lawyers, but they weren't in the courtroom. So I would go in the courtroom and it would be me and a bunch of men in their 50s and 60s. And my daughter just applied for a Raymond James internship, and she walked in and she was the only young woman, and everybody else was talking about things that she's going to pony up. Okay. You're going to pony up and put on your game face, but you've created an atmosphere where not only people can be relaxed and not feel underestimated.
Right.
Not to say that they won't move in those other circles, right?
100%. No, but you gain confidence. I've gained confidence throughout the years, and I can walk in any place right now, and I could I'll be perfectly fine. I won't feel like that anymore. And that's really one of the goals. Yeah. But it's nice. It's exciting to see how women have come together, how they have progressed, through their business journey, or even on a personal level too, because it's not just about business. You have to have balance. And so that's important to us as well, being able to pour into these women on a personal level as well. And sometimes that's just a one-on-one meeting, that you get to do that. And you can't find that everywhere. So you can find that at Latinas for sure.
Well, I think it's like such a super neat concept. Not exclusive in the sense that it's pushing other people out, but it's preparing people, right, to have confidence, not to feel underestimated, and to be able to walk into other settings and take that confidence with them. So you're doing a great thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of a young person like you. I'm a little older, so I can say that, who's doing so much for the community, and she's making such an impact in the market in a tough place.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. It's so nice to meet you today.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for the opportunity.